Hello, good evening, and welcome to Become a Better Man. My name is Tunde Disu, and on today's program, we are continuing with the topic that we started looking at last week. Remember, last week we started looking at personal integrity. But on today's program, we're going to move on further slightly from there, and we'll be looking at building your integrity muscle, building or developing your integrity muscles. And I hope that something that will be said tonight will add benefits to your life, because at the end of the day, our lives is a function of our integrity, which is which is manifested in the form of our characters. And ultimately, people will judge you, people will address you, people will regard you based on your character. And so, since integrity is the foundation or the raw material that produces character as a finished product, I think it is important for us to examine it, to open it up, to look into it, to find a way of growing it, because integrity is a journey, it's not a destination. You never arrive. You are always learning, you're always increasing, you're always progressing, you're always adding to your integrity portfolio, as it were. So, integrity is a vital aspect or a vital part of our lives, especially on this journey of becoming a better man and a better woman. So, we're going to be looking at how to build on what we learned last week, how to develop, how to grow our integrity muscle. Last week we defined integrity, we looked at the various aspects of what it is. I don't want to spend much time on that. I want us to, because there's so much to unpack on today's program. Integrity is the single most important quality that any person, you and I, can develop. The reason for that is because it will enhance every other aspect of our lives. It is a vital ingredient in your and my development. It is a necessary tool that we must all have, because the quality of it will go further to enhance all other aspects of your life and my life. So if the plan, if your goal and my goal is for us to have a successful, happy, productive, and good life, it is important, therefore, for us to embrace this this vital ingredient called integrity. Integrity is also the quality of being honest, like we said last week. At the end of the day, it comes down to being honest, number one, with yourself. And I think that's an area that a lot of us have either not really embraced or not given the required attention. It is one thing for you to be honest with other people, but if you're not honest with yourself, that is even a greater degradation of your integrity, because ultimately you can only give what you have. So if you don't have it, if your personal integrity with yourself is lacking strength and body and volume, what chance have we, those of us who are partakers of what you have? So it is important for you, as a way of, as part of your integrity journey, that you be honest with yourself. It is one thing for people to lie to you. It's one thing for people to deceive you. It's one thing for people to not give you the full facts. To some degree, that could be excused if the effect of it is negative towards you. But when you are not honest with yourself, when you are not truthful with yourself, when you are not open and totally awake to yourself, then the rest of the world we don't have a choice. We don't have a chance, rather, with you. So integrity is the quality of being honest, primarily, in the first instance, with yourself. And then you can elevate that, you can transport that, you can export that to being honest with other people. and living a life that is aligned with your moral principles. So you remember last week when we're looking at what integrity, what the definition or some description of integrity, one of the things we said was integrity is you establishing what are your non-negotiable, unalterable terms. What are your core values? What are the things that you hold there that as it were, excuse me, sorry about that. What are those things that you hold there? What are those things that ultimately uh, uh, differentiate you from the rest of us? What separates you? What are your what are your traits? Ultimately, your character. But all of that comes from you establishing in the first place, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? What is it about me that I will not and I'm not prepared to compromise, to change, to let go? What are the values, the core values that hold my life, that 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 guard my life, that keeps me on the path of righteousness, as it were? So your integrity is being honest in also being established in yourself of what your core values are, and therefore aligning your behavior, aligning your lifestyle, aligning your interaction, aligning everything about you with those moral principles, with those moral guidelines that you have established for yourself. I read a book some time ago. It's called True North, as in the North Pole, True North. It was written by a guy called Bill George. And that book really helped me, especially as I was preparing for this program. It was talking about finding or establishing the authenticity of who you are. How authentic are you with yourself, to yourself, by yourself? And the authenticity of your person is established or is determined by the moral principles with which you align yourself, that has become the guardrail, as it were, that keeps you along the straight and narrow. Developing personal integrity requires examining your beliefs, checking your values, looking at the systems that are around you that you run your life with, and taking deliberate action, making deliberate decision to behave to ensure that everything about you is consistent within those established values and systems and principles that you have established for yourself. So as you can see, integrity is way more than you telling the truth all the time. It is part of it, it's a major part of it. But you see, that will follow this idea of establishing a core, like an anchor that holds your soul, your person, in a position that you are consistent, you are persistent, and everything else around you and about you comes back to that focal point to establish, to describe you, as it were. By developing or growing your integrity muscle, your character will improve. Because remember, I said integrity is the raw materials that is manifested as a finished product in your character. Your character will improve when your integrity level improves. And once your character improves, it will bring you up, and the best qualities about you will start to radiate, will start to manifest, will start to rub off on other people, and people will then ascribe some recognition, appreciation, and elevation to you based on your character. So yeah, there is so much about integrity that really have an impact in yours and my life, as it were. Integrity is a value. It is a value, and it's a precious, priceless value. It is like being persistent. It is like courage. It's like intelligence. It's a value. But you see, even though it is a value, even though it is a precious, priceless value, but you and I, we still have to make the choice. We still have to resolve within ourselves that we will live our lives within the dictates of those values, because ultimately that is what will form our character. And as I said last week, reputation is what people say about you, how people describe you, how people hold you. But character is exactly who you are, because your character is a sum total of the values and the principles with which you run your life. Integrity, in fact, is to your life and to my life the same thing that a yeast is to a loaf of bread or to the dough with which you make bread. The big dough is there, but a small tiny piece amount of yeast will go to work its way through the whole big dough, and it will give bread the ability to rise. It's the same thing with your integrity. It enhances all other aspects of your life. It enhances other values and other manifestations about you, which ultimately will determine how well you are regarded, how well you are described, how well people relate to you, how much trust people put in you. Integrity, or rather trust, is not something you demand. It's something that you earn over time. And so if you really want to live a recognizable and appreciable and a successful life, integrity is without doubt more than important that you should work on, because it is the quality that locks in your values, that locks in your value. Integrity is a quality, is a bolt and nut that locks in your values and causes you to live consistently with those values, and ultimately people will see that as your character. Integrity is the foundation of character. A person of integrity is usually regarded as somebody with unblemished character, with a clean hand and a pure heart. People relate, people describe, people respect a person of character. But character is a function of the quality of your integrity. So as you can see, one of the most important thing or activity that we all must pay attention to and work on and continue to improve and engage and develop and increase is not our character per se, because our character is a function of something else. So what we need to work on is a raw material that produces character, which is our integrity. And one of the best ways to develop your integrity and ultimately your character is for you to remain consistently constant, doing the same thing that a thoroughly honest person will do. And we will be looking at some of this on tonight's program as we go along. So, like I said earlier, for you to have and display integrity, it starts with you being honest with yourself. But you see, the way it works is when you are honest with yourself, when you are truthful to yourself, when you hold yourself accountable, it is not difficult for you to transport that to other people. It's when you are honest with yourself, you will struggle to be dishonest with other people, because that honesty, that honesty within and with yourself will become your character. So you don't need to think about how do you relate to the other person. It flows out of you naturally. So being honest with yourself is a guarantee, it's an assurance for those of us that are outside of you that you will be honest with us as well. So if you are always honest and truthful to yourself, you will struggle to be dishonest to other people. The mark, the distinction of people with high integrity is that they always do the highest quality of work in everything they do. They give it their best. They rehearse, they practice, they memorize, they do everything, whatever is required for them to deliver at the maximum level. That's what they go for. Because they realize that everything they do is a statement about their person, it's a statement about their character, it's a demonstration of who they are on the inside. So the question you and I must start to ask ourselves from this point is, am I doing my everything? Am I giving it my best? Am I holding back any aspect of me regarding this issue or this task or this con- uh, 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 contact or relationship or business or whatever it is you're doing? Wherever the Bible says, whatever your hands find doing, do it well, because that is a hallmark of integrity. You see, it is easy to make promises. Oh, yeah, I'll call you tomorrow. Oh, yeah, I'll see you next week. Don't worry, I'll make sure this happen. And we are very quick at making promises. But are we also as quick and as rigid and as consistent in keeping those promises? Because every time you keep a promise, every time you give your word, every time you make a promise, it's like you giving somebody a promissory note to say, I owe you this. You become indebted to the person that you make a promise to. So every time you go back to make that promissory note good, every time you go back to fulfill that promise, every time you keep the promise that you make to other people, you know what they say about you? They say you're a person of integrity. They say you are reliable. They say you are trustworthy. They say you are responsible. You see, all of that radiates or comes out from the fact that one aspect of you, which is keeping your word, keeping your promises, is translated to you being honest, being a man of integrity, a man of character, a man that is reliable, that is trustworthy. And all of that ultimately strengthens your character. So, again, there is so much to unwrap as far as this topic is concerned. But looking at what the topic for tonight is, which is developing or increasing or growing your integrity muscles. How do you do that? How do you develop this integrity muscle? How do you grow it? How do you increase it? Well, the simple answer is the more you use it, just like anything else, the more you exercise it, the bigger it gets, the stronger it becomes, and the more it's easier for you to do it again and again and again. So quickly, we're going to look at some of the few things that from my preparation for this program I've been able to pull together are some of the things that you and I can do, starting from right now, to develop, to increase, to grow, to strengthen our integrity muscle and ultimately our character. So the first thing is you must identify the aspects of your life and my life that requires change. In what area of your life, in what aspect of my life, that now that we have seen some definitions and descriptions and inferences regarding integrity, what aspect of our lives do we think needs changing as far as integrity is concerned? So what I'm saying is you need to reflect on your interactions with other people, starting with yourself. Reflect on how you interact with yourself and how you interact with other people, maybe at home, maybe at work, maybe at church, maybe in the neighborhood, maybe at social gathering. And then once you examine that, the purpose of the examination is for you to determine the specific areas where you need improvement, the specific areas where you can be better, where you need to polish up, where you need to maybe go back and make good your promise. For example, if you are somebody that is an habitual late comer, say you're always late to work, you're late to church, you're late to dinner, you're late. Lateness is just a manifestation of your person. I'm just using that as an example. If you, by you reflecting on your life and how you interact with others, let's say you pick up the fact that you're an habitual late comer, rather than you feeling guilty that, what am I going to tell them now? Everybody knows there's no traffic today. Everybody knows today is Sunday, so the road is free. Everybody knows that my children and my wife or my husband are already in the church. So what excuse can I give today? Instead of feeling guilty about that, instead of feeling... You see, the funny thing about when you don't operate in integrity is it takes away part of you. So instead of you feeling guilty that you have to make another excuse, that is the time for you to find out why am I always late? That is the reflection on yourself. And once you identify what that is, you go to work on it. You go to work on that aspect and work and improve until that issue is conquered in your life. And then people will start saying, oh, he's changed. Oh, have you noticed that she's changed? And suddenly, all the debits in your life are now turning to credit, and people start to relate to you and refer to you in a different way and in a different light. So the first thing to do for you to develop your integrity is identify the aspects of your life or your behaviors that need improving by reflecting on your interaction with yourself and other people and work on it. The second way to develop your integrity muscle is you must find out what are the reasons for not behaving with greater personal integrity. Why am I not displaying? The funny thing, or rather the good thing about integrity is when you are below the standard, you know yourself, unless you self-deceive. You will know when you are just below the bar, below the standard, below the expectation that you have for yourself. Not even the ones that others have for you, but the one that you have for yourself. Once you are below that, you will know yourself. So the next step then is for you to find out why. Why am I letting myself down? Why am I lowering my standard? Why am I behaving with less personal integrity? Why? Why? Now, to a lot of people, it is out of fear. Say, for instance, you are a supervisor at work, and the manager comes and says, oh, Mr. Taylor, I need you to do this and do this and do that. I say, yes, sir. But you know in yourself that you don't really know what to do. So what do? You delegate it to other member of staff that are subordinate to you. They will do it, give you the report. You take the report to the manager, and he says, thank you, well done. Now, the question here is, why can't you say to the manager, sir, I appreciate the opportunity to grow in this area, but I don't know what to do. Now, I know some of you think, oh, then they will sack you. Well, maybe. But have you considered the possibility that by you opening up to your manager that could give him the opportunity and give you the opportunity to be trained in that area, in that aspect. That could open up a new adventure for you in that place of work. Number two, it would deliver you from the 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 uh, um, the anger of your subordinates that you are giving the job to do, and you are taking the glory for the job that they've done. But when you train yourself, when you open up and say you're now sent for the training, guess what? It will increase your view, your value with your manager, and it will cause your subordinates to respect you because they know what you have done. You are not taking advantage of them, and you are being truthful to your manager. So you need to determine a fear of what people will say, how people will see it, that is stopping you from walking and manifesting greater personal integrity. Confront the fear, deal with it. You will be better off doing that than to continue to hide, because one day it will catch up with you. Another way by which you can grow and develop your integrity muscle is you must confront the obstacles that weakens you, that makes you to lie or to make excuse for yourself, that makes you to contradict and compromise the standard, that moral standard that you have set for yourself. Confront that obstacle. Face your fears about how others may perceive you, and if you don't know what to do, thank God for technology. Go on Google, go on YouTube, you will learn a lot from there. And if need be, go for training, go for counseling. Find a way to confront that obstacle. In fact, some of them might have nothing to do with what you are doing. It might be something from your past, something from your upbringing, something from your exposure when you're little. Face it, deal with it. Get somebody to help you and grow your integrity in that way. Next one, build stronger relationships. Build stronger relationship by being truthful and being candid. Being truthful and being candid at home, at work, at play, everywhere. Be truthful, be candid. Now, the truth is, a lot of people can't handle the truth. A lot of people would rather we all lie to ourselves and just don't ruffle the feather. But you see, because we all lie to ourselves, everybody is not sure of everybody. Everybody is suspecting everybody. But if you step out of that game, out of that circle of lies, and you say, "Do you know what? I want to be a better person. I want to have a better personal development, personal relationship with the people I interact with. Therefore, I am going to work on myself. I'm going to be truthful, even if it costs me something. I'm going to be candid with the people I relate to." You see, part of developing your integrity is gauging when and how to deliver the truth. Like I said, a lot of people don't like the truth. They would rather you rub their heads and pack their bag when that's not what will help them. So you need to now say, "Do you know what? I'm going to lay it on the ground." Now, this is the caveat about that. Be careful not to confuse being truthful and being candid. Don't confuse that with anger-driven and brutal, honest confrontation. Now, I am going to tell. No, that's not. You're not helping anybody. You're not even helping yourself. The, naturally, truth is bitter. So when you serve it, make sure you serve it on a platter of love. Make sure you serve it in a way that the person you're serving it to can receive it, rather than you going in their face and give them a piece of your mind. For instance, like again, if you're a supervisor at work, be honest and direct with everybody that you deal with, and let them know what you expect from them. Let them know. Let all the people that you work with, you relate to, let them know what you expect, the level of your expectations from them. Don't get involved in office gossip and backbiting. This and that. It will come around and bite you real hard. So build stronger relationship based on truthfulness and being candid. Another way by which you can grow your integrity muscle is because no man is an island. We all get involved with other people and use other people's belongings and materials and properties and all of that. Respect the properties of other people. Respect the properties or belongings of other people. I remember years and years ago when I joined one of these multi-level marketing business. I joined Clean Easy. I remember one of the trainings we went to. They said to us, when you are going from house to house to drop your magazine, your catalog rather, be careful that you use the pathway to the house. Don't walk across people's garden because it's a shorter route to the next house. Do you know why? You don't know who is watching from the inside. And that alone could cost you a business from that house or from that customer. Respect other people's property. Respect other people's belongings. Consider any complaints that people would say, you know what? I lent you this book and I'm not happy the way you brought it back. Rather than you start to make excuses, well, are you sure? I think that's the way you gave it to me. Because I've not even read it, I just left it. No. Please, please, accept your responsibility. Accept your side and say, I'm sorry, I didn't handle it well, and I apologize. If you're happy, I'm happy. I will go and find a replacement or whatever. But don't make excuse. It shows these people that you respect not just their property, you respect them. Make a concerted effort to respect other people's materials that are in your possession. You know, the Bible says it is expected of a steward to be found faithful. Again, when you are in possession of something that belongs to somebody, you are automatically a steward. You are a custodian of something that belongs to somebody else. It is expected of you to be faithful, to be honorable, to be respectful when you handle that. For instance, if you've noticed on this program, every time I go over the 1 hour, I immediately at the end apologize. Why? Because you have come on this platform to be on the platform for an hour. If I go over by 2 minutes, by 5 minutes, sometimes by 10, 15 minutes, I have taken some of your time that you never allocated to be with me on this platform. So what do? I'm sorry that we've gone over our time today. I'm really sorry about that. It's not because I'm afraid. It's because I respect your time. I respect your commitment. I respect the fact that you have other things that you could be doing rather than being here just listening to me. So the fact that you're here, I must respect that. I must honor that. Another way by which you develop and grow your integrity, you need to learn to listen and respect the opinions and the decisions of other people. You must learn to listen. You must learn to respect opinions and decisions of other people. Now, that is so vital because all of us, none we are all guilty of a very short attention span. We want it there, just like that, just like that. And so when something seems to be protracting and getting longer, we tend to want to conclude for the person. No, allow them to air their opinions. Listen to what they have to say. Don't 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 prejudge what they're about to say or what their opinion is or what their decision is, because 9 times out of 10 you'll be wrong. And you know, the unfortunate thing is when people are wrong, instead of normally admitting that, okay, I'm wrong, I'm sorry, we'll tend to dig our heels in and try to defend an indefensible position. So, to avoid that, learn to listen, learn to respect, learn to honor, and give time to other people's opinion and their decision. When you do that, one of the things that you're saying to the other person is that you respect their rights to their opinions, their right to their decision, their right to their views, but more than that, the right to express it. And when you respect diverse thoughts and decisions, it goes on to show that you are open-mindedness. You are not a closed book. You are willing to reason with others and hear what they have to say. Also, you must learn to do more than you are expected. Always go slightly beyond the call of duty, even if it's at a personal cost to you. What you will say to people is that you are committed, you are thoughtful, you are willing to stay and get it done to the end, rather than, well, I've done my bit, see you, bye. No. If you're in a position to contribute to the development of others, to help them, especially in things they cannot do by themselves, that's why they have come to you for help. Don't just look at them like, what's wrong with you? How come you can't figure that out? No. If they can figure it out, they won't come to you. But the fact that they have taken the initiative, the time to come to you, give them your attention. Help them. Support them. Assist them. But more than that, go beyond the call of duty. Do more than they expect. And that will just wow them. Give them a wow factor every time somebody is with you or by you or come to you for help. Give them the X factor. Give them the wow factor. Promise less, deliver more. It goes a long way to grow your integrity. Now, another way by which you can develop your integrity is to recognize the fact that for where I'm going, for what I want to become, for the ultimate goal of where I'm going, I don't have what it takes by myself. So I need somebody to come alongside me. I need a mentor. I need a support. I need to be accountable to somebody. It doesn't take anything away from you. If at all anything, it goes to show that you are humble, that you are willing to learn, that you are open to be led. And guess what? People will do anything when they perceive that of you. But again, it's a sign of a person with great integrity. Also, when you seek other people to mentor you, to guide you, to help you, it provides you a valuable feedback mechanism that somebody can be like your mirror, stand in front of you, and then you can see a reflection of yourself. That, for me, is priceless. That is priceless. Learn to admit when you made a mistake and apologize for it. Don't make an excuse. Well, it's because, and excuse, they say, is the tools for the lazy. Don't make excuse. Learn to admit when you are wrong, when you've made a mistake, apologize, and make an effort to make it right. To make it right. Own up your part of what has gone wrong. You see, one of the excuse me, one of the funny things is when you sit down with a couple, for instance, who's having an issue in their relationship, and you're talking to them, and everybody say, no, it's his fault, no, it's her fault. Oh, no, no, no. Nobody, you hardly see people that would say, you know what, this is the part I played to bring us to this position. And that is a question of integrity. It takes two to tango. Then for every reaction, there must have been an action somewhere. So whatever your action is, accept it, own it, believe, receive it, and don't make excuse for it. Because when you admit that you've done something wrong, when you admit that you have a part to play in it, it is easier for you to make the amend rather than to stick your gun and dig your heels in the mistake. And as much as you might be afraid of what people will think if they know you made a mistake and all of that, but living a transparent life, and not pretending to be somebody that you are not, oh, how peaceful that is. How peaceful that is when you live a life that is transparent, that is honorable, a life based on integrity. Another way by which you can develop your integrity is learn to be independent. Learn to grow some backbone for yourself. Don't wither away. Don't depend on others unnecessarily. Because when you become totally dependent on others, you become irresponsible. And it will increase your hopelessness. Because without them, you can't do this. Without them, you can't do that. Without them, you are not growing. They are getting tired of you. And all of that is just pulling down your grade of integrity. Now, this next one is great. Recognize the weeds in your life and take the time to root them out. Recognize that there are weeds. You know what weeds are? Those grass that grows where they're not supposed to be. Recognize that there are weeds in your life and have the courage, the stamina to pull them out and root them out. What do I mean by that? The same way that you need to deliberately do something to build integrity into your life, the converse of that is you must also be prepared to face the music, identify the things that are in your life that are not supposed to be there, and yank them out. Get rid of them as quickly as possible. Now, I'll give you two examples of these weeds that I'm talking about. The first one is the weed called rationalization. You always have an explanation for everything. You have an explanation for this, you're not prepared to grow. You are not ready to go forward. Rationalization is perhaps the most dangerous force that would derail your integrity building efforts quicker than anything else. I know the world we live in now, the litmus test for honesty these days is people say, is it okay to do that? The people will say it's okay for you to do what you want to do so long as you're not hurting anybody and so long as maybe you don't get caught. But even if you get caught, just make sure you have a back door to escape. That is the complete opposite of integrity. the true integrity, true integrity in its purest form is to do what is right because it is the right thing to do. The purest form of integrity is to do what is right because it is the right thing to do, especially when no one is looking and no one will find out. That is integrity. But instead of that, we are so quick to rationalize. Well, the reason couldn't deliver on that is because now there could be a logic and genuine reason, but don't make that a practice. Bob Marley said, "You fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the times." Yes, you may have a logic, genuine, concrete reason, but don't make that a pattern. Because when you do that, all you're doing is rationalizing why you can't deliver, why you can't live right, why you can't behave well, why you can't interact well. Don't do that. So rationalization is the first one, where it's a dangerous game as far as developing or building your integrity muscle is concerned. The second one is what I call misplaced blame. Misplaced blame. Naturally, naturally, we like to blame others for what's going on. No, it's not my fault. Yeah. Oh, yes, it's them. It's because of it is why we like to blame others. We blame our parents, blame our children, blame our spouse, blame our office, blame everybody. But misplaced blame usually come in the form of two words: if only. Now, before I go into that, let me make this categorically clear. This is not to say that if you genuinely have an issue in your life that is completely, totally out of your control, I'm not saying that you are blaming somebody else. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is we are very good and very quick at pointing fingers, at shifting blames, at using the two words, if only. I'll give you an example. You probably have heard people say, "Oh, my life would have been better if only I was not born in this country. If only my parents had had a good marriage, I wouldn't be in this position that I'm dealing with. If my spouse or if my husband or my wife, if only he or she has been more affectionate, I'm sure our marriage will still be ongoing. Well, if my spouse has not spent all the God-given hours in the office, I won't end up in this extramarital affairs that I'm in. If only we had more money, I'm sure we would not be facing this challenge." And we look for a hanger to hang it on. But you see, as tenable in some instances, as genuine as those things are, but when you blame others, when you shift blame, when you misplace your blame under this canopy of if only, all you are doing is you are cutting your leg off yourself from underneath yourself as far as growing your integrity is concerned. See, by blaming others, you are only preventing yourself from growing where your integrity is concerned. You must guard against this. You must deliberately refuse to go down that route. Because if not, you will always have somebody to put the blame on. And finally, on how to grow your integrity muscle, learn to be assertive. Learn how to be assertive. to be firm. Let people know where you stand. Be assertive so that when it's time for you to defend an ethical position, a principle, a moral principle in your life, you are coming from a point of strength rather than people thinking, oh, hello, look who is talking. No. But once people have established your character as this is what you stand for, when it's time for you to stand your ground and defend that moral principle, you don't need to whine, you don't need to be aggressive, you don't need to 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 beg. Just be firm. You will have the strength of character to be assertive. You will have the courage to state your case and stand by it. Because by that time, the people in your life and around you will have established the fact that when it comes to that, this is the way he is. So it's not coming to them as something new. Remember that in times of fear, in times of danger, in times of disaster, in times of chaos, in times of when things are not going well, the temptation is always very high for you to compromise, for you to let go those principles, for you to open a door slightly ajar, just in case. But instead of allowing yourself to be guided towards compromising your integrity, those times of 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 fear, of chaos, of disaster, those are the times for you to actually demonstrate your strength of character by avoiding anything that will say something contrary to who you are as far as your integrity and your character is concerned. But the other part of that is why you are asserting yourself, while you are standing your moral ground, be careful that people don't perceive that as you being a show off or just being unreasonable. Yeah, they may say that. But when you stay humble, when you stay humble in that aspect, when you are down to earth and you are reasonable, you're not letting them know I'm better than you, and you're not putting them down. I can look at you. For the fact that you're not doing that, people will receive and respect your person and what you stand for. Ladies and gentlemen, our lives, our lives is a product of our character, which is a function of our integrity. There is so much to cover on this topic. There is so much to dig up on this topic. But I hope something that we've said tonight will stay with you and help you to move up the ladder to the next level of the ladder of integrity. We are all on this together. We are all on this journey. And I am privileged, I'm honored to be on this trip with you. Remember, we have a purpose, we have a destination. There's a place that we're going. And we're not going to rest, we're not going to cave in or give up until we reach there. And that place is destination good life. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I honor you. If you have not shared the program, please let's share it now so that others can learn from it. So until we meet again next week, this is Tunde Disu saying, I love you, I honor you, I respect you, and I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and God bless you. Bye-bye.